Oh man, I love Thursdays. Thursday's one of my favorite days of college football. That's the day we get to finalize everything, and your families start coming into town. And my mom and dad, and my high school coach, his wife, my uncles. So we got a big birthday celebration tonight for all these August, September birthdays while we're all together. And I don't know, it's just a good feeling today to know it's pretty close. And I think our kids sensed that today. We've got a very difficult opener with one of the better FCS teams that I've probably played no matter where I've been. And, some unknowns with the number of transfers they've had that I think are quality players. So be a great test for us, but one that we're excited to get out and play, especially at home in front of our people here, our students, our fans. So we're excited.
Coach, any new injuries to report, and also how is Aaron Pierre? I know he wasn't at practice Tuesday. Do you think he'll be able to go on Saturday?
Yeah, he practiced today. He'll be able to go on Saturday, and no other new. Same guys that were out, but Aaron is back, and I don't know how many snaps he'll play because he's missed significant practice time, but he certainly is looked ready to go today.
What about J-Mac? He's listed as questionable for the game against Campbell. Any news on him?
No, I don't remember ever putting him questionable. He's looked good all camp, so I think he's ready to roll.
Because I know a prevalent thing throughout camp has been like the COVID issues and whatnot. How are things looking from that standpoint heading into the opener?
Yeah, I don't think the COVID issues are going away anytime soon. And I don't think that's just a Liberty football issue. I think that's the nation and times we live in. And so we've got to you got to handle those and hopefully take the proper precautions to limit the number of issues we have with it, but certainly I don't think it's going to be something that we don't deal with this season so far. We had our test yesterday and everything was great, so hopefully we can continue that. But I again, even those of us who are vaccinated are not exempt from getting a positive test. So again, I just think it's something that that we're going to have to deal with throughout the season.
You and the players have spoken highly of having a full capacity crowd, what difference that makes. But now that we've seen the case numbers at Liberty kind of rise over the last week, how wary are you of the interaction that your players will have with the fans, and hopefully there's no transmission of the virus, so that way you guys are good for the weeks to follow?
Yeah, man, you probably ought to talk to our team doctor about that. I don't know. Our kids will not have interaction with the fans during the game. Now, after the game is when, again, our kids have to hopefully adhere to what we've asked, and that's that we remain in as tight a bubble as we can. Certainly we would like to celebrate with people should we win some games, but priority is us making wise decisions. And the same goes for our campus also and our fans. And I don't have all those answers, man, and I'm not in those meetings to decide how all that should look. I just plead with our kids to let's make the best decisions possible to try to protect us so that we can have a season that with our team members fully present.
Coach Messer went back to his alma mater at Elon, and I know he had a big impact there while he was at Liberty. And also, the timing on that is, any changes you expect to make to your staff or promotions or anything like that?
We wish Warren the best, man. I'm always excited when those young kids, get an opportunity to have their own room, get a paycheck, and start their coaching career. So we're thrilled for Warren. He's going to be a great young coach, heck of a recruiter too. And so the bad part about some of those is timing is not great, and it wasn't great for us. But man, our compliance office got a waiver for us to replace him on the field or an interp. I don't know if it was a waiver or an interp, so don't quote me on that. But permission for us to replace him so that we have the same numbers as everybody else, and we've done that with Eric Ponio. So it was somebody that's in our building that was a GA that knows our stuff. So it's we feel comfortable moving forward with that through this season.
Coach, based off your perception, based on film, what can you tell us about Campbell? You mentioned them being a tough FCS opponent. What can you tell us?
They're huge. They're athletic. And they got a quarterback that runs around and makes plays, and receivers and tight ends that could play at a lot of places. And and defensively, they just, they didn't have great numbers on defense last year, but they've had an influx of, I think, 7 FBS transfers on that side, plus they got their all-conference linebacker back. And you watch the tape, and if you watch it in terms of games, and you watch the App State game, and at halftime they're leading with 28 seconds left in the half, that's scary. Because App State's a quality football program, and you just know that they have enough players to scare you, and they're well coached. Coach Minter and his staff do a great job. So, and the fact that there's still some unknowns with all the number of transfers that they do have.
Hugh, you brought this up a couple weeks ago that you weren't happy with the inconsistencies on offense, whether that be an offensive lineman who might be a step off, drops, bad reads. Now that you've gotten through all the install, you've gotten all these freshmen transfers that acclimated, has this week of prep allowed this group to build some consistency heading into the opener?
Damien, I feel that way today. We're going to find out soon. But I felt good about today. I felt good about us getting a game plan in and their attention to it. And I thought we had a solid Thursday going over our situations and the game plan. So feel good today. Hopefully that will translate into a solid play Saturday night.
Coach, if I may, can we get your thoughts on the incoming freshmen? How are they looking so far?
I'm thrilled. I think, again, we've got a lot of returners. So, if a freshman doesn't play significant snaps, that does not mean we're not pleased with them. I mean, we've got, a lot of kids returning from last year that have played a lot of football. So, but I'm excited. I think you're going to see significant contribution at linebacker from Ahmad Walker and D-line from Christian Zachary. And I think those two are going to get a lot of snaps as freshmen. And Amarian Williams may also at corner, depending on kind of, how we're doing there depth-wise. Harrison Hayes, offensive line-wise, is in the 2 deep. So, and Adair's the same. So, it's hard. It's really hard to say, but I love our freshman class and think, you start adding into that Jay Hardy and Caden Salter and, guys that we've here recently brought in, and Christopher Body and Brunson. All of those guys may get some time. I don't know. But we're happy with the freshman class. Again, I don't know what that means in snaps, but we are pleased.
You look at the impact of Hurricane Ida that from Louisiana now up into the Northeast. Lafayette, Louisiana was hit relatively hard. Have you been able to touch base with Billy Napier and those guys down there to see how they're doing since you guys do play them later in the year?
I sent texts to several coaches down in that area, and I think most relocated in preparation for their season, and the teams themselves I think are doing fine. But obviously, the areas to which they live and have families and friends and the communities that support them, obviously there's been great damage and still work to do to recover from that. So our prayers are certainly with them.
Did you get a chance to watch the UAB Jacksonville State game last night?
I watched the first half, and then it's my bedtime. I don't. I go to bed early because I get up early. But I did watch the first half of it, and then I saw the score this morning. I thought they looked really, really solid.
All right, is there anything else for Coach?
Coach, what's one rule or moral that you like your guys to follow?
One what? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So what's a moral that you try to implement in your guys? What's one moral you tried to have them follow?
It can be summed up in one: chase the standard. Whatever standard it is that we set for ourselves, whether it's morally, academically, spiritually, practice-wise, chase it hard this day, this one day. And don't listen to your critics.